It's a loaded question. Christ is a hidden gem. It's technically a community hospital, but it's one of the largest hospitals in Illinois with some of the most diverse pathology that you'd see across the country. A lot of our attending physicians have trained at some of the top academic institutions in the nation, and we're lucky enough to be on the receiving end of the knowledge that they distribute.
The program itself is awesome, and I want others to know how truthful we are when we tell you how great it is. The people and the environment here is next to none. It's wonderful. You come to work and you're really happy, and these people become your family, and I think that's the most important thing that I want others to know about the program. You get great teaching, great experience, but really what matters are the people and that you spend the time with, because it becomes your home here for 3 years.
I chose Christ Hospital because when I interviewed, I could really tell that there was a strong sense of community here, both within the residents themselves, but also between the residents and the faculty members. And in addition to that, I knew it would be a place where I would get a strong foundation in medicine, because as a prelim going into PM&R, I needed to be able to still act as a primary doctor in that kind of setting, and I wanted to make sure I was doing that in an environment where I would enjoy coming to work every day, in addition to getting the education that I needed.
I think I'd like others to know that Christ offers a unique experiences ranging from the inpatient and outpatient world of medicine. We have different units that we get to work on while we're here. The OBS unit is very interesting. The outpatient clinic that we have is staffed with a bunch of different types of patients that we see, ranging from all different age groups, as well as our inpatient model, both the general floors and the ICU. On top of that, based on your interest, you have the opportunity to rotate in subspecialty units, such as the transplant unit, as well as the surgical ICU. So I think that's a very unique model that you don't get to see in many other programs.
So I was lucky enough to rotate here as a student, and while I was here, I realized what a great program it was. I had a really good vibe working with the residents, and I really liked the teaching that the attendings did. So it's kind of a combination. I feel like sometimes when you know, whether it was from rotating here as a student or maybe on your interview day.
I think one of the greatest strengths of our program is really the variety and depth of patients that we get to see. I think as an internal medicine program, we see plenty of the kind of bread and butter medicine cases, and then we also see really an incredible amount of critically ill patients. And I think the depth of teaching and hands-on experience we get up in the ICU pretty much from day one is really a unique aspect of our program and a real asset of our program.
I'd like others to know that Christ is very amenable to change. Whenever residents want something changed within the program to improve or better it, the administration does a great job listening to us and making sure they execute it.
What is unique about Christ is that you can take an idea all the way from a conversation with your attending that you're going to do this research project all the way to a manuscript and publication, and you'll do every single step. And I think it's important that if you're going to truly be a good fellow and contribute to your field, then you need to know how to do your own statistics, how to set up your own methods, how to design your study, implement your study, gather your data, analyze your data, and then ultimately know how to write it. And if you are dependent on other people to do those steps, then you're not as effective of a researcher, and Christ will give you the opportunity to learn how to do that.
The unique thing about Christ and the internal medicine program is the variety of cases we get to see. Some of our patients are unfortunately very, very sick, but that means that we have a lot to learn from.
So this year we implemented a new format to our didactics where they're system-based by the week. So we start off with a board review, and we do questions, usually they're due by that Monday. Then we have different attendings that come in and they talk about topics that are within the same
organ system. So I think it kind of helps with if you're trying to organize your studying, because then during that week you can just focus on one subject. And at the same time, if there's a question that pops up in one lecture and then you think of it afterwards, you can kind of ask it in the next, because you're talking to experts that are in the same field.
Something that Christ is really focusing on in our program is really one of its strengths is that our teachers want to teach. They're well versed in the literature. They're up to date, and whether you finish a rotation in an elective or a specialty service, or it's on our floors, which is internal medicine, you leave those experiences and those rotations with the knowledge of kind of letting your medical skills advance, and so you're well prepared.
So teaching at Christ is really awesome because we work each topic in multiple different ways, and it gives me the redundancy that I personally need to memorize something. We do lectures multiple times throughout the week. We do quizzes both individually as well as through a group. We incorporate medical topics into different games like Jeopardy and Taboo, and there's also the classical bedside teaching by different attendings. So it really encapsulates a lot of different mechanisms.
I feel like your personal as well as professional growth is really determined by your intern year as well. Just one of the things I personally felt, I really did learn a lot. My seniors were super helpful, really trained me well for my role as a senior, and I wish I'm able to do that for my colleagues who are still interns right now.
I feel wellness is definitely one of the strengths here, starting from top down, all of the faculty, the chief residents, always make sure that the residents are in a good place, and on top of that too, that their opinions are accounted for. Anytime there's any issues, it's a safe place. You can always bring it up with the chief residents and the faculty, and most of the time the changes can be implemented.
I think Christ is the perfect place for what my life motto is, which is work hard, play hard. I feel like when we're here, everybody's working, putting their pedal to the metal. But then at the same time, when we do have times off, everyone's kind of going out. They have good interests. We're here in Chicago. A lot of people travel. And I think the work-life balance here is excellent.
The program tries really hard to make sure that the burnout and stress and fatigue is at its lowest, and we have routine checks with our advisors to make sure that that stays the same.
Our faculty members, who are not only quality teachers and educators, but also they're supportive in our needs, both educationally and just in terms of our well-being as humans.
Diverse and involved.
Energetic and welcoming.
Extraordinary.
The program is dynamic.
Dedication.
Energetic.
Diverse.
Supportive. Camaraderie. Helpful.
We have excellent teaching attendings.
Energetic.
Procedures.
Flexible.
Organized.
Welcoming and supportive.
Incredible pathology, incredible diversity of patients.
Overall, this program really fits the bill.
It's phenomenal.
Learning and a little bit of home.
It's like family. It's like second home.
Family.
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 And
Fun.
And fun.
Let's try that again.
Okay, you're gonna have to cut a lot of this out. I'm sorry.
Next question.
No. I would say
I do not know one else is hearing that. Okay. All right, I'll start. Sorry, real fast. Should I look to them and be like, here I go? No, because. Or do I just?
Whatever you want.